Shit. Oh, Lord. Well, hopefully we'll get through here without too many more disconnects. Is it back? Okay, we're back, it looks like. It'll catch up. Anyway, really good game. If you can still find it or get a digital download, go for it. Fun game. Play this one before Control because I think Control is better, but this is still a very fun game. Really interesting all around, all things considered. Oops. I'm putting this in A tier as well. Not above Control. It's probably pretty interchangeable with Ender Lilies. I'm just going to put a little bit behind Ender Lilies because there are, like I said, there's way too many fucking collectibles. I know. Do you have to collect all of them? No, but if you're going to put them in there to build the world, then either don't put them in there or make them much more concise. So that's where I'm putting Quantum Break. My tower fell over. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Next up is the Cuphead DLC, the Delicious Last Course. Get it, right? DLC, Delicious Last Course. The Delicious Last Course was, I think, announced shortly after the game had been released in 2017. 2017, that's right. After the game had received wide accolades for being really fun, really cool. You need to finish you need to finish Cuphead. You need to finish Cuphead. Cuphead is a great game. It's rage-inducing. I broke my Xbox Elite controller, so that was $150 out the window. But hey, whatever. I broke it playing that game on that stupid the robot boss, which I can't remember, Dr. Somebody's robot or whatever. But the DLC was announced several years ago, and then with COVID and everything like that, it had continually and perpetually had been delayed. Finally, we got it this year, and it basically brings Cuphead and Mugman to a new island. I think there's 6 or 7 new bosses, and shit, I can't remember. But, I mean, it's just more Cuphead, really, really great, awesome art style, all hand-drawn, all in-studio music, really, really fun. Still the same challenge. You still get that, like, frustration, but that catharsis when you actually win. Because it's like, it's brutally difficult, but it's fair. It's like, you fucked up, so you got hit. Or Cuphead got hit, and you took damage. But it is really, really fun. The Cuphead DLC is just more of the same. There's one track in particular that's really, really good. It's the Wild West track for the the horse boss or whatever it is. Really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. If you played Cuphead, you got to continue on with Cuphead. It's not a full-fledged game, so I mean it's going in DLC. If it were a full-fledged game, it's probably going somewhere in A tier. I loved Cuphead personally. Again, any sort of game that is challenging or is nostalgic for me in some respects is going to get, I'm biased, I'll be honest, right? But like, it was good. I like the DLC. You need to finish the game, Juan, if you haven't finished it. It's worth it because again, that it beats, the thing I love about Cuphead in general is it beats you down. It gets you to like a low point. And then when you win, you have this like satisfaction where it's like, yeah, I did it. That's right, I did it. So, like, the DLC is just more of that. So, but otherwise, I would have ranked this DLC, if this were a full-fledged game, probably somewhere in A tier. But I can't do it just because I didn't have, it's DLC, so it's not, I mean, I have to be subjective about DLC. Some DLCs are, like, full-fledged games in of themselves. But for, like, the Delicious Last Course, which I think I probably only had like maybe about 10 hours or less in, it's just not something that like I think is very fair to compare about some of the other games. So I'm just putting that in the DLC category. Yeah. I mean, Juan, that's true. Yes, you can't really blame anybody else, but like at the same time, it does feel like sometimes it's like there's no way that happened. There's no way there just happened to be a projectile where my character was at that exact moment, right? But like That's how it happens sometimes. So whatever. So, okay. One more and then we'll take another quick break. All right. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay. Next up is Shadow of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox One. Similar to Mutant Year Zero, this has been sitting on my shelf for years. And that's just how it is. The reboot of the Tomb Raider series has been very interesting. The original definitive edition in 2016, like Doom 2016. Wait, no, hold on. That's not right. That was 2013, I think. Sorry. Did I get that wrong? Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I said 2016. Yes, the Tomb Raider 2013 reboot. God, that's crazy. That's almost 10 years ago. It's almost a decade ago. Seems finishing the game and getting the DLC is going to be one of my New Year's resolutions. Well, you got it. I mean, do you know about where you stopped in Cuphead, in the vanilla base game? The Tomb Raider reboot in 2013 actually is it's in my top 20. I really loved Tomb Raider 2013. Rise of the Tomb Raider was an exercise in frustration, but still very, very good, but not as good as the original. We're going to start getting into a theme here with these remaining games that I have. This is basically the third of the reboot trilogy. It's not a bad game. It's just not very good either, and it's not Tomb Raider. This is basically Uncharted, but with a woman instead of Nathan Drake. So, I mean, I can't really say like this game was really, really good, but neither was it really, really bad because it is polished and everything like that. I mean, it takes place with like Aztec and Maya, with like those type tombs. So, I mean, like that's been done to death so many different times. But I can't fault it because it still is a solid game through and through. It's just not really Tomb Raider, to be honest. Also, the fact that it's called Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and look, I mean, she has like, you can kind of even tell, like based on just even the cover art, she like looks like, oh, this is going to be some major trials and tribulations, and it's really just her kind of doing fetch quests for this. I forgot where they are. They're in either Peru or Chile or something. Chile. I can't remember. It was whatever. I just was trying to get it done, but it's a decently made game. It's just not Tomb Raider. But I mean, Crystal Dynamics makes some decent games. I love the Deus Ex series that they made. Wait, hold on. Is that right? Oh fuck. Human Revolution was Crystal Dynamics, wasn't it? Holy crap. Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's Crystal Dynamics, right? Crystal. Yeah, it was developed by Crystal Dynamics, right? Human Revolution and Mankind Divided were both Crystal Dynamics. So I mean, like, it's a well-made game. It's just not Tomb Raider. So I'm gonna dock it because it's not Tomb Raider, but it's still a good game, action game. Yeah. So for me, that's like solidly B tier, no doubt about it. Kind of better than these other things because it is pretty well polished, but I mean, like, it's not as nearly as innovative as Bugsnax, and it's not nearly as anime as Blue Reflection, so that's where that one's going. Pretty sure I'm the third island, though. It's been a while since I played. Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get back into games if you haven't, like, played them in a while. That's why I always try to finish my games. Like, no matter how much it fucking sucks, I always try to finish my games at the time so I can finish them, get rid of them, and never have to deal with them again unless there's DLC or I want to replay them or whatever. So, yeah. What games you been playing recently, Juan? I know you're more of a Nintendo Switch guy. I know you're more on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I'm to be honest. I mean, so like to be honest, I've always been more partial to Nintendo, especially over the past. Not so much this last year, but like the past 10 years or so, because compared to Microsoft and Sony, Nintendo has been the least censorious of the three. Although they have kind of rescinded a little bit on that, they've actually been a little bit more censorious. They're starting to get more like Microsoft and Sony. So I've always loved Nintendo, and so I'll always speak very highly of Nintendo. Where was I going with this? But I think, well, I'll just say that much. So the Switch has a pretty good library, all things considered. I mean, if we're talking just like straight exclusives, PlayStation exclusives, I could give a flying fuck about. I really don't care too much about. Actually, you know, we'll if I remember, we'll get into this after we get through the review here of all the games. But like, I find it so funny that all these Sony fanboys will go into, oh, Microsoft bought Activision. Oh, this is the end of Call of Duty on PlayStation consoles or whatever. And yet at the same time, many of the Final Fantasy games, particularly the ones that are going to be coming out, Final Fantasy 16 and like the 7 remake or whatever, those are going to be Sony exclusives. So it's always funny how it's Microsoft evil or whatever. And Microsoft is evil, but like it's really not that much different from Sony. But Nintendo, meanwhile, Nintendo's always been Nintendo, so they're always doing their own thing. I don't really. Zelda's still great. I still love Metroid. I grew out of Mario. I don't care about Mario games anymore, and I haven't for many, many years. The last Mario game I actually played was Galaxy, and not Galaxy 2, but the original Galaxy, and that was a very, 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 very good game. But I didn't. It wasn't interesting enough for me to play Galaxy 2 or any of the other follow-ups to that. So, Splatoon 3. So you're a PvP guy? You like PvP? Well, you know, I'm going to get into, if I remember, at the end, when I get past all of these, I'll get back to like my kind of, I kind of tickled on it in the beginning of the stream, like what I thought about 2022 for games. But 2022 has been, there were some really good games, mostly digital shit, but a lot of also just like not really good games. And that is a perfect segue to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Cheers. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Nintendo Switch exclusive. Oh boy. Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, is one of my all-time favorite games. It is definitely in my top 10, probably top 5 as well. Amazing game. I love Xenoblade Chronicles. Not only do I love Xenoblade Chronicles, I played Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, finished it. Played Xenoblade Chronicles 3DS, finished it. And did the super bosses. And 2 years ago, I think, I can't remember the exact year, but the definitive edition on the Switch, again, finished it a third time. Technically 4 times because I completed it twice on the Wii. So 2 Wii playthroughs, one on the 3DS, and then one on the Switch. I fucking love Xenoblade Chronicles, okay? Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, I honestly, I never finished it. I never finished it. But it's such a black sheep, nobody really even cares about it. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Switch is also very, very good. It's not good as the first, but it's also very, very good. I love Pyra. Mithra is pretty cool. A lot of the other blades are very cool. Xenoblade Chronicles is probably my top 20, if not 30. Another amazing game. Now, so when I heard Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was coming out, holy shit, you couldn't believe that I was over the moon about it. And it was only probably about a year and a half ago that this was announced. The 3DS one? Well, I mean, to be fair, the 3DS one also was, so the original, so when Xenoblade Chronicles on the, let me make sure I get my years right here. It's very important for me to have the chronology correct. I think it was like 2007, right? On the Wii. Well, yes, but in America, it wasn't until 10. I didn't play it until, I think, 2012, more than 10 years ago. But it had been a long time since I had played it. So there was a bigger gap between the Wii version and the 3DS version, between the 3DS version and the Switch version. Really fucking great stuff. Anyway, sorry, so back to this crap game. Sorry. Oh my God. Oh my God. This game, I didn't hate it. I really did not like this game. Way to take all this amazing build up in 1 and 2 and just crap it out in 3 and have all these one of the biggest things about Xenoblade Chronicles is not only the narrative but the characters. You have some really memorable characters in both 1 and 2, and in this it's like Mary Sue cardboard cutout number 1, John Sue cardboard cutout number 2. Oh my God. This game, I don't say this lightly. This was an actual chore to finish. And I really did not want to play this. I was really, really sad about it. You know, we went from a time when there were 3 people on screen. You control one character, but they had 2 party members. You went from that. Sorry, let me back up a step. So in Xenoblade Chronicles, you had 3 characters. It would be the one you would control, and then 2 sub-units who would be AI, right? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out. They go, okay, we'll still take that 3 formula, but each of those 3, they also have an AI themselves. So technically it's 6, but you don't have control over the other 3. It was really just sort of like cosmetic, to be honest. So it was like still kind of 3, basically. So what do they decide to do in this one? They say, let's put fucking 7 characters in this. Let's put 6 fucking basically playable characters plus an AI unit. It's technically optional, but there's no reason why you wouldn't use it. And this game just really, I mean, it really bothered me how much this game sucked. It's funny because obviously games... I'm getting too old for this shit because I've noticed that, like, generationally, younger fans of Xenoblade Chronicles generally like this game or love this game, while the older fans do not like this game at all. This was one of probably, I'll just say this much, right? Like, games that are number 3 in their series are very interesting because for every, like, Witcher 3 or Fallout 3 or Resident Evil 3, which I think are very, very good games, you get this crap. Or like Borderlands 3 or Bayonetta. We'll get to that. But Bayonetta 3 or Kingdom Hearts 3 or Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I just talked about, or Dead Space 3 or the Dishonored Death of the Outsider. Like the third installments of games, either good or bad. I mean, there's a couple that are like mid tier. Like Halo 3 was pretty good actually. Mass Effect 3 was kind of weird at the time. BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider 3, Morrowind, Metro Exodus. But like this, sorry, I'm like deflecting. But anyway, point is, this really hurt me how this game just was not interesting. I'm not going to get into spoilers about this, but you have, like I kind of alluded to, you have the world building from 1 and 2, and 3 just basically takes that and just does everything wrong about it. You want more information, hit me up, but like this was a major disappointment for me. I don't know if another thing too is they try to like hit you really hard with the feels at the end of the game with the story, and it just missed completely for me. It pains me to do this. It really pains me to do this. This is bottom C tier. This bottom C tier. It's better than Telling Lies because I'm biased towards Xenoblade, to be honest. And Overlord at least try to cover new ground as an Overlord game. but it's bottom C tier, and I'm not happy about it, but that's where it needs to go. Sorry. Fucking hell, man. It's like that thing where it's like, what is it like? How does it feel to? Hold on a sec. How does it feel to see to have lived long enough to see all your favorite franchises go down in flames? It feels awesome. Ugh, this game sucked. I'll say that much. Okay. All right. I promise that. Okay, so I know I'm slowing down a little bit. Some of these I'll speed up a little bit. Okay, next one. Live Alive also on the Nintendo Switch. Now, this is an interesting game because this was a remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, that was released this year, but this is from a game from the Super Nintendo era from 1994, I think it was, that was only released in Japan, not in America, or actually I think outside of Japan. Now, this is an interesting game because you play through, I think, like 7 or 8 different storylines. So it's kind of similar to Weird West, where you don't play the same protagonist through and through. You go through these like sub little stories, and you do different things, right? You play like a prehistoric character who's like a caveman type person. You play a like an Indo-Japan type character, samurai or ninja, sorry, like a Chinese, whatever, imperialistic era. So this is an interesting game. So this is basically like playing a is replaying a remastered Super Nintendo era game, and I really like this game. Some of the storylines were better than the others. In particular, like the prehistoric era, the near future, the far future is pretty good, were better than, like, actually unironically the Western type one I didn't actually really enjoy. And they all play very differently. Some are like, one's like a traditional RPG, one is like a fighting game, like story mode type tile. So basically it's just like opponent after opponent. But like the fact that this came out like almost 30 years, well, the source material, the fact that this came out like 30 years ago and has been remastered, is kind of crazy. But I did enjoy my time with this. I don't think it was amazing, but it was pretty good for like a JRPG style, because again, it is kind of sort of hampered, or really hampered by like the fact that the source material is so old. But I did like Live Alive. The music was pretty good. The way that all different, this isn't a spoiler, but like the way that all the different storylines kind of connected, I did like it. This is worth a play, I think, if you have a Nintendo Switch, for sure. I did like Live Alive. It's not amazing, but it is still very, very good. I liked Live Alive. And again, the music was pretty good. I actually, kind of a spoiler alert, I tried to get one of the songs to be my ending theme for the stream, but I couldn't fucking find it. It has vocals, but whatever. So Live Alive, pretty good. If you can get on a discount too, that's really, really good. So for me, Live Alive is definitely B tier. I think that's just where it goes. That's just where it goes. It's pretty cool and fun to play. Definitely very, very unique. So that's where it's going. So yeah. Okay. Oop. All right. Okay, so now we're getting into we're gonna start getting into like so most of these remaining games were, let me make sure I'm not making bullshit, with the exception of like 2 of them. These were all games that were not only released this year, but were like Xbox Series, not Xbox One, but Xbox Series exclusives, because I was able to actually procure a Xbox Series X this year, because now finally there have been games that like you would actually buy for a for a new Series X or whatever. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Like I have a pretty powerful PC, even though it's a couple years old now. But I've always maintained, it's just a personal thing. I've always been a console gamer because I sit at the computer enough during the day that, I want to hang out on the couch, on a chair, whatever, with a controller and just do my thing on a thing. So I've always been partial to consoles, even though consoles I know graphically, CPU-wise, are not as powerful as PC, but that's just how it goes. So what are we at? Okay. Cheers. We'll wrap this up, you guys, soon. So. Happy New Year. All right. Cheers, Juan. Juan, if you don't drink, don't take up drinking. It's not good for you. All right. Scorn on the Xbox Series X. This was the first game that I played on my Series X. This was a digital download only. Now, this is an interesting game. This had been announced a couple of years ago, and had been kind of seen as like a gore, a walking simulator gore type, puzzle type game. I think it's made by a company somewhere in Eastern Europe. I want to say it's Serbia, but I don't know that for a fact. I'm checking it right now. Oh, it is. God, I'm so fucking good sometimes. It is by a Serbian developer, Ebb Software. What was interesting, so this game had been released a couple of years ago, had been announced a couple of years ago, and it had been kind of seen as like one of the main title buyers that you would get for like a Series X or whatever. I'm assuming it went through development hell because it ended up just basically being a puzzle shooter with really shitty combat that got ham-fisted towards the latter half of the game. That said, I mean, it was fine. It kind of wore out its welcome because it really tries to play hard on the gore aspect of it, or tries to make you feel very unsettled with shit. What is it, Morgellons disease or whatever? Yes, Morgellons. It tries to make you. I feel like it tries to make you feel like you have Morgellons disease as you play the fucking game, which was kind of cool, especially because I played it around the October time frame, so it was kind of spooky Halloween shit. So the puzzles were kind of challenging. The combat was dog shit, which would, like I said, felt really ham-fisted, which I think affected the game. I will say the game didn't waste my time, but it also wasn't very interesting either. But I mean, it's kind of worth a couple hours if you want to dick around with it, but not amazing by any means. If you don't care for that sort of genre of horror gore type shit, then stay away from it. But it was fine. I also got it on discount, so I'm a little bit partial to that. C tier for me. I'll put it below Doom just because Doom was at least a little bit, had a pulse, whereas Scorn was just dragging on. It felt like it dragged on a little bit in some parts. So, and like I said, the combat was absolute dog shit. So Scorn goes there. God, by the way, I just love, this is not pre-planned, by the way. This is very ad hoc. I just love how it's such a standard deviation. It's so great. But yeah, so anyway. Woo! All right. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, so final 10 games. All right, here we go. Bayonetta 3. Oh my God, sorry. Bayonetta 3. Nintendo Switch exclusive. Oh boy. You want to talk about extremes? Here's a game for extremes. Some really fucking amazing action gamey parts like Bayonetta 2 and the original Bayonetta, compromised by some absolute another dog shit parts that just didn't belong in the game, and that's playing as a character named Viola, who, oh Lord, is absolutely terrible to play as. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers into anything of this, but I'll be honest, if you go back and watch some of my last streams, I really had doubts that this was going to be released this year, but hell, Platinum Games pulled it out, and this was released this year. Where does the Bayonetta franchise go from here at this point? Fuck if I know. This was like highs and lows, peaks and valleys, some really amazing, fun action parts, some parts where we really got into it, like things were just flowing, really fun shit, and then other parts where it was just absolute a drag, really boring, played absolutely horrible, the Viola bits in particular. The story was just weird. It just did some things I didn't agree with. Oh, good Lord. I don't know what to say about Bayonetta 3. Well, there's the Cereza spinoff. Yeah, so the Cereza spinoff, I saw that when they announced it at the Game Awards. I mean, to be honest, like I'll probably play it on discount. I'm not very faithful about it, but it's whatever. Man. Honestly, where does Bayonetta go from here? I mean, I loved 1. 2 was very good. This had parts I loved, and then parts that I hated. There were just these moments, I'm repeating myself, but there were just these moments where it's just brilliant. You're getting these amazing combos with Bayonetta, doing all this crazy cool shit, and then you have to fucking play as Viola, who just doesn't even have she doesn't have a dodge, she has a fucking parry. Oh my god, this was, like I was talking about earlier, the third installments of games are usually really good or really bad. This trends towards more the bad side. I'm putting this in, unfortunately, C tier. I'm putting it right there because my reasoning is this: I would replay the story sooner than I would play the Doom Eternal story, but it doesn't really do anything new or interesting that I've seen from a fucking mobile game or from an MMO. So, and also the fact that it has 2 really good games behind it, I'm going to punish it a little bit. I'm putting it into C tier. So that's where it goes. Sorry. All right. Next up, Steel Rising. Not HM Rising, but Steel Rising. Now, this is another interesting game. Kind of like Tunic. This had been announced a couple years ago and is made from the same developer, Spiders, that made Greedfall, another AA, not AAA, but AA studio that had announced this a couple years ago at least. I want to say like 2018 or maybe 2019. And this is a Souls-like game based in like an alternative history of the French Revolution that features our good old Robespierre and some other historical figures. This could be a whole nother stream. Souls-like games I could say a shit ton about, which this is. This is actually a pretty fun game. So it does have that challenge, that difficulty behind it, but I appreciated the story and the narrative behind it, the difficulty and everything. It's a little drawn out. I will admit it's a little drawn out, but I appreciate the fact that they try to do something different. The fact that something, honestly, I'm a little biased. If you try to do something different or unique, you're going to get a couple pity points from me at minimum. I really like Steel Rising. It's not amazing, but it is still very, very good. If you like Souls-like, I would recommend you check out Steel Rising. It is pretty fun. The customability is pretty high. I liked it. It was a good game. It didn't waste my time either. It tried to play a story as far as it went. Maybe a little bit padded, but for a Souls-like game, that's kind of be expected. I like Steel Rising. It was good. There's nothing else to say about it. It's going in the A tier. I'm going to toss it in A tier. Steel Rising. I'm going to rake it actually above Tunic just slightly because Tunic's endgame bullshit with the here's a foreign fake language you have to translate kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where Steel Rising didn't waste my time. So Steel Rising goes where it goes. Okay. And next up we have the DLC, the Cagliostro Secrets. This was basically just another side mission. There's really not much else to say. It's more Steel Rising, whatever. It's fine, pretty good, nothing bad. Going DLC, boom. Okay. Can I say anything else interesting about it? Cagliostro is one of the main antagonists. No, that's about it. It's DLC. I think I got, let me see here. I think I got maybe like 5 hours out of it. Let me see here. My DLC, Cagliostro Secrets. Oh, it doesn't have a time. It doesn't have a time thing. I think it was probably about like 5 hours. It was just basically another side quest. It was fine. Good, fine, whatever, DLC. Okay, fine. All right. The final 7. Sonic Frontiers on the Xbox Series X. Now, what can I say about Sonic that hasn't been said over the past 10, 12 years? Absolute dog shit, pretty much. The last Sonic game that I played was Sonic Colors on the... Was it the Wii? Did I play it on the Wii? Sonic Colors. It wasn't the... I know there's a remake that came out a couple years ago, but I think it might have been the Wii that I played it on. Yeah, it was the Wii. Okay, yeah. So the last Sonic game that I actually played was Sonic Colors on the Wii, and that was, I think, 2012. I know it came out a couple years before that, but I got a discount. So I played it on the Wii. Sonic, what can I say about Sonic? Sonic has been dog shit for so many years. But Frontiers was advertised as being the open world, the revitalization, whatever. And to be honest, I thought this game was really, really good. I'm not going to lie. I thought that this was actually a very, very good Sonic game. The fact that it has the Sonic IP over it kind of, I think, influenced people more negatively than positively. It's not a perfect experience. There's some kind of dumb shit that happens. There's just it's a pretty open world generally speaking, but there's all these sub little areas that you can do to find collectibles and everything like that. It really is a collectathon, to be honest. But I think the developers really nailed the characterization of the Sonic characters, in particular Knuckles and Tails. Not so much Amy and Sonic. Well, actually Sonic's okay, and Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. But I actually had fun with this game and I actually wanted to play it. I don't mean originally, but I played it and then the next day I'd be like, I want to play Sonic Frontiers again. Hell, my intro featured I had a great track. This was really, really good. I actually thought Sonic Frontiers was really, really good. I'm not saying Sonic is back. I'm just saying I really love Sonic Frontiers. Well, my honest opinion, if this had a different IP behind, if this was a new and unique IP, people would be fucking over the moon about this game. The fact that it was Sonic, I think, hampered it a little bit because people, of course, were looking at it from a more critical lens and saying, oh, well, this isn't as good as Sonic, it just wasn't that bad, or whatever. I actually thought this was actually a pretty fucking decent game. I enjoyed it. Kudos, hats off to Sega. I'm not saying Sonic is back. I'm just saying I enjoyed Sonic Frontiers a lot, and didn't waste my time, which is another important thing. This is going to A tier. It's going to A tier. Now, is it good as Control? No, but I really enjoyed it. Sonic Frontier, A tier. That's how it goes. Oh, and by the way, I think I got this around Black Friday, so I got this for $20. 21, I think it was $21.99 when I bought it. Dude, I got my $22 out of this. Good game. I did not play Generations. I didn't play Generations because it was a little weird. It was weird to me the fact they took the modern Sonic and the classic Sonic and like had the classic Sonic be a mute or whatever. Maybe someday I'll get to it, to be honest, but like I'm very wary about Sonic games in general. But Frontiers, I was like, fuck it, let's go for it. And you know what? It paid off. I enjoyed it. I liked Sonic Frontiers. I'm flowing through time. I'm flowing into the light. All right. Woo. How many we got left? We got 6 more. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. It won't be more than 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Whoops. All right, sorry, we're back. Okay, the final 6. Whoops. That theme is pretty catchy for sure. It's funny because like so the level, the particular level that the Portal 1 2 that music is on is the hardest stage in that entire game to S rank on. But it's like the fact that the music is so hype, you don't even care that it's this hardest stage because it's like the music is so good. It's like it keeps you pumped. It just shows you the power of like art and stuff like that because it's just so cool. It really is. But to be honest, like I said, I have been really wary about Sonic games, but Sonic Frontiers was actually really solid. I think also the fact that they kept the developers kept the cast to 7 characters. These aren't spoilers, but it's Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Eggman, and then a new character. So 7 characters. The fact that they kept the cast kind of small and didn't do this whole like extended shit, I think actually really helped the game. Helped the game a lot. Yeah, I mean, I like it's actually like a really solid game. I was pleasantly surprised. You understand, like I went in with a lot of doubt about the game, because the last game I played was Colors, but prior to that, the last game I had played was Sonic 2006 on the Xbox 360. And you know, what can I say about the game? That game that hasn't already been said. It's just a buggy mess and everything like that, and Sonic kissing the princess, whatever, right? But like, I'm not saying Sonic is back, but I think the fact, I like, I'll say this much, right? Like, Sega should really take like the really good aspects of Sonic Frontiers, and if they make a Frontiers 2 or a new game, whatever, like take all the good shit, make a new game, cut out some of the bullshit. I'm a little bit more partial for collectathons, but it was a little excessive in this game. But still, I thought it was a very, very good game. Like I said, I'll bump it up a little bit just because the fact that Sonic has been starved for like a good game in a long, long time. I mean, Sonic Colors was fine. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was amazing, but it was good. It was fine, whatever. but like an actual good Sonic game we've been long overdue for. So I'm fine with Sonic. I'm more than fine with Sonic Frontiers. I thought it was a good game. Good game. Some of the boss fights were a little stupid though. The fact that they're based on essentially time more so than like health or whatever. But Sonic Frontiers had its had its day or whatever. So we'll get into it. All right, the final 6. Okay. Next up is SD Gundam Battle Alliance. SD is a acronym for Super Deformed Gundam Battle Alliance. Oh boy. So I've been a Gundam fan almost as long as I've been a video game player. Gundam games in general tend to suck. That's just how it is. There's a couple good ones, but most of them are crap. SD Gundam Battle Alliance was actually pretty decent. SD, if you're not familiar, is basically the Japanese way of saying chibi style or kind of... So SD... So nowadays saying something is super deformed is kind of not PC or whatever, but super deformed basically just means like kind of like an oversized head, small body, smallish arms, smallish sword. So again, chibi style. That's basically what SD Gundam Battle Alliance or SD means. Similar to Sonic, we've been overdue for a good Gundam game in a very, very long time. And unlike Gundam Evolution, which I referenced earlier, I think this hit on a lot more notes than a Overwatch clone did. It's a little repetitive, it's a little grindy, but it does feature a lot of the main Gundams that you've kind of come to know and love. Also missing a couple Gundams that you've come to know and love. But if you recently got into Gundam in like the past like 10 or 12 years, you probably would like this because there's more Gundam and mobile suits from the more recent series than some of the older series, or at least the ones you would care about. I mean, G Gundam, which is my favorite, hence HM Rising, right? Rising Gundam is from G. There's only 2 Gundams from G Gundam, God Gundam or Burning Gundam, and Master Gundam is like, where the fuck's Rising Gundam? But anyway, it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I played it with a family member, actually. Similar to Divinity, I think that this game is actually probably more fun if you play with a partner rather than solo. But I mean, it was a solid experience. Was it amazing? No, the story's kind of stupid. Basically, you have to fix history, right? Or the history of Gundam as a meta series. But I mean, I enjoyed my time with it. It was fun to play as Gundams and mobile suits that I particularly love. It's going to lose a lot of points because it didn't have a Rising Gundam, but it had Providence, it had God/Burning, it had Legend, Formula 91, F91. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And it only wasted my time a little bit, but I'm a little bit forgiving because it is a little bit more of a grindy game, but I did like it. I liked SD Gundam Battle Alliance. If you're not a Gundam fan, don't bother buying it. But if you're a Gundam fan, I would actually say check it out more so than I would say Gundam Evolution if you don't just play a stupid fucking Overwatch clone. So for me, Battle Alliance is like top tier B tier. Pretty fun if you're a Gundam fan, if you like the IP, but it's really not going to do much for you if you're not a Gundam fan, to be honest. Reborn's Gundam was in there, who I like. I love Reborn's Gundam. Actually, now that I think about it, on retrospect, it's weird. Some of this, similar to Gundam Evolution, it chose some weird choices for some of the Gundam suits, like Iron-Blooded Orphans, which just came out, or not came out, but has been out. Was it 2014 when that was? It was either 2014 when that series was airing or aired. Yeah, it was 2015. Sorry. They they chose like a couple mobile suits from there, which I thought was not Gundams, but mobile suits. It's like, this is really a big miss. There's only a couple wing suits, which I thought was interesting. Like they only have Wing Zero and Epion. Yeah, I think that's it. Just Wing Zero and Epion. No Heavy Arms, no Sandrock, no Shenlong, no Ultron, no Death Scythe, no Death Scythe Health. Really interesting choices. Kind of a miss in some respects, but overall, not a bad game. I enjoyed it. Wish there was a physical. I played on the Xbox One. I think there's a physical release for the Switch and the PlayStation. I wish there was one for Xbox, but hey, whatever. That's how it goes. So, not a bad game. SD Gundam Battle Alliance. Okay. All right, the next two games are sea or ocean themed. Sea of Solitude, also on the Xbox. I actually played this on the Series X, I think. Although I think you play on the Xbox One. Sea of Solitude, this came out, I think, either in look it up, I think it was 2020. No, 2019, even earlier. It's a French game, I think, right? Because the voice acting, they're very French. They kind of talk like this. I don't know, I can't do it, but it was kind of a nice game. Kind of another walking simulator. Kind of goes into like depression. Kind of hits on like mental health aspects, and depression and stuff like that. So it was kind of an interesting, nice experimental walking simulator type game. Not amazing by any means. Not bad. Was it horrible? No. Was it great? No. It just kind of was there. But I mean, kind of it kind of there's some very limited parts in the game where you kind of sail on the open seas, which reminded me of Wind Waker a lot. So I did kind of like it. It's fine, whatever. It goes in there. I'm putting it in B tier. I don't know where. B tier. There. Yeah, I mean that's where I'd rather play Cat Quest 2 again than Sea of Solitude, but I'd rather play Sea of Solitude rather than Mountain Eater Zero replay. So that's fine where it is. So okay, the final four: Call of the Sea, also on the Xbox. I played on the Series X, but I think you can play it on. No, actually, it might only be on the. Might actually, I feel like it was like almost like a launch title. No, it is on the Xbox One, but I played on the Xbox Series X. Another sea ocean type oriented game, albeit less than Sea of Solitude. This was a little bit more exploratory, a little bit more like, I wouldn't say like make your own story, but a little bit more open-ended, where it wasn't as hand-holdy as Sea of Solitude was. Also a lot less preachy. Takes place in the 1930s, which I appreciate, which I assume Sea of Solitude actually is more modern in that respect. Also, Call of the Sea is first person and Sea of Solitude is third person. Wait, is that right? Holy fuck, I only played these games like a month ago. Sea of Solitude? I think it was a third person, wasn't it? Yeah, it was third person. Yeah, it was third person. That's right. I'm going crazy. I think Call of the Sea had a little bit more style than Sea of Solitude did. You spend about the same amount of time in each game. They're puzzle-based, exploratory games, walking simulator, narrative-driven, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They're both fine. For sea-orientated type games, you can't go wrong with either one. I personally prefer Call of the Sea. So it is going boom right there, just slightly above Sea of Solitude. But whatever. You want a sea or ocean type game, can't go wrong either. Actually, no, sorry. Let me rescind that comment. Call of the Sea is actually not nearly as sea orientated as Solitude is, because Call of the Sea mostly takes place on an island, whereas Sea of Solitude has more sea sailing type bits. But thematically, Call of the Sea is still fine, more tropical. I think it takes place on like the it takes place in Tahiti, I think it is, or whatever the old word or terminology for Tahiti was. Otaheite. Yeah. So, want to explore, the Pacific or whatever, go ahead. There you go. Whatever. They're fine. They're pretty quick completions either way. So, okay. The final 3. Here we go, guys. Here we go, boys. This is it. Final 3. These are basically games I played in the last month or so. So, last December or so. Whoa, shit. Okay. Evil West. Evil West on the Xbox Series X. Do any of you remember the Xbox 360? This basically is a game that should have been released in the Xbox 360 era. Are Evil West and Weird West related? No, they're not related. They just have West in the title. But great question, Honey S 2015. Evil West, I think, was announced either a year or two ago at one of either the Game Awards or E3. This is a over-the-shoulder, third-person type game that if you played Gears of War, more like Tears of War, or any of those type games, Last of Us, all that type crap. I fucking hate Last of Us, by the way. Anyway, this is basically a 360 game made modern, but with cool Western themes and zombies / vampires / other like gothic horror type shit. I was kind of skeptical about it. It had piqued my interest, but I was skeptical about playing it. Holy fuck, was I pleasantly surprised. This was a really, 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 really fun game. If you want to go back to like 2011, 2010 and play a modern game out of those eras, this is your shit right here. This was a really fun game. Good replayability. You can play on different difficulties. I fucking love this script. There's a character in this game called he's the it's the president at the time is I think Grover Cleveland, if I remember correctly. It's like Wild West and shit. And there's a character who's like the assistant secretary of war. His name's Harrow. And he says I fucking love the writing in this game. It is so fucking funny. There's a character, Harrow, he has said something like, I don't give a watery shit about what your curriculum fucking vitae is. You're going out in the field or whatever. It's like, well, you don't send your engineers out to the field. The engineers, doesn't matter. Anyway, I love this game. This was really fun. I will say it did waste my time a little bit having to play on a second difficulty. But if you want to play like a quote unquote modern 360 game from like the golden era of like 2009, 2010, 2011, this shit is totally up your alley. This was a really fun game. I really, really, really like this game. If you like those type of games, I highly recommend this game. I think this is on every console but the Switch, so have fun with it. I got the physical copy because I always get physical copies despite disc rot, but I fucking loved this game. This was really, really fun. Also, the difficulty was really good. I actually I had 2 playthroughs, 2 full story playthroughs. The first actually did it on the easiest difficulty, and then the second was on the hardest difficulty. The actual easiest difficulty was harder for me than the second playthrough on the hardest difficulty was for me, because the fact that you start off so underpowered, and the fact that you can do a new game plus and carry over all your upgrades and equipment into a harder difficulty, it was really, really fun. But that at the same time, there were also a lot of bullshit segments because of that. But I really recommend this. If you like Tears of War, Last of Us, Dead Space, whatever. This I highly recommend. Really, really, really good game. It is slightly hampered by the fact that there are a couple bullshit segments. It's very linear as well, which I'm actually okay with, but it was very linear. But I really, really like this game. Again, you like those third-person over-the-shoulder shooters, get this game. This is definitely going into A tier for me. I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. Really, really good game. I liked it a lot. And also, by the way, the physical copy is more expensive than the digital copy. This cost me a whole $60, whereas the digital copy I think is either $40 or $50. It's at least $10 cheaper. But hey, I'm a physical media guy. That's how it goes. The final two. Can anything beat Weird West? I don't know. Well, apparently our sponsorship ran out because this handle of Tito's is apparently empty. But we'll just deal with it. Anyway. Okay, let's wrap it up. You got it's almost on the East Coast, it's almost 11 o'clock Eastern time. And you guys got a better stuff to do than watch a dumbass HM Rising stream. So, okay, final two. Cult of the Lamb. I play this on the Xbox Series X. Okay. This is an interesting game because this had very little, initially had been announced, not released, but announced to very little fanfare either late last year or early this year. And again, either the Game Awards or the E3 or whatever. And it had kind of be seen like a whatever game or what, that type of deal. And then once it was released, which I think it was September, maybe August. I'm checking right now. No, sorry, not even close. It's actually June. It was actually released in June. Really? Well, no, sorry, it was August. I don't know. Wikipedia is fucking weird. Yes, it was August 11th. This was another FOMO game of August on Twitch. This is a very good game. I really enjoyed my time with it. Cult of the Lamb, it takes a very kind of like cutesy style artwork, almost like hand-drawn style. You play a little lamb. You collect followers into your cult. And you can sacrifice them and do all this crazy, weird shit to them. Cult of the Lamb was, and I only played it in the past week or two. It's been on my backlog or whatever. Cult of the Lamb was actually really, really fun. And another plus, it didn't waste my time. I'm very, very forgiving to games that don't waste my time, and very punishing to games that waste my time. Cult of the Lamb was a lot of fun. You play the character you play. You go through. It's a roguelike. Sorry, I should have said it earlier. It's a roguelike. You go through these procedurally generated dungeons. You collect followers. You collect resources. You do all these sort of things. And it's also a resource manager at the same time because you have a home base that you take those aforementioned followers, assign them to do different tasks. You build these different structures, which builds different resources, whether that's wealth, food, water. There's no water in that. You can build outhouses, all stuff like that. Cult of the Lamb was a really, really fun game. Really, really good stuff. It was a Devolver Digital game, just like Weird West was. Dude, AA games are the future. What can I say? AAA games are absolute dog shit, and usually indie games are dog shit as well. So the future is in AA's. What can I tell you? I really, really like Cult of the Lamb. Fun game. What can I say negatively about it? If you're going through like a blind playthrough, it might be, and you haven't played like a game of its caliber before, it might be a little bit like obtuse. But I think like if you're a reasonably seasoned gamer, Cult of the Lamb was actually is pretty good and up your alley. I really liked Cult of the Lamb. I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to think which tiers. It's between one or two tiers. I'm trying to understand. Trying to think which one it's going to go into. The artwork was very good. You know what? Yeah. I cannot in good faith put it into S tier, but I can say it's like the top of A tier. I think it slightly edges out at Evil West, although I really, really loved Evil West. I think it edges out Evil West just because Evil West had a couple of combat arenas that were just absolute bullshit. Where the enemies that you go to face it was, I don't want to say unfair because that's subjective, but it was just like, come on developers. But Cult of the Lamb was really fun. How many hours did I put in? I want to say I put about 20 hours into it, maybe. I put about 22 hours into it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a pretty good game. God, I know I sound like a fanboy, but AA titles are really where like the best shit's happening, to be honest. It really is. So, okay, here we go. The last game for 2022. If you're on Eastern time, less than an hour before the new year. So we'll definitely finish this up before the new year, so you can all go back to your parties and shit. I know you're all streaming this from the phone, from your phones, at the parties you're at in the bars. But anyway, so here we go. The last one. That's Juan. I'm surprised you are such a devoted dude. I love you, Juan. You're a good guy. Thank you so much. We're friends on Nintendo, right? Oh, yeah, because you play Splatoon 3. That's right. Yes. I don't play Splatoon 3, but yes. Okay. Laptop viewer here? Oh, well, that's fine, but I'm saying like you play mostly from you video game style. You're not a PC player. You're a Switch guy, right? My Switch, I have the special edition Smash Bros. The Smash Bros. Exclusive console. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. Switch. I was talking about how I'm watching the stream. Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. No, you're good. Wait, hold on. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I don't really. I obviously I haven't streamed recently. Let's see here if I go to creator dashboard. Let's see a community roles manager, add new. Juan DGG1. There's you. Adding you as a VIP. I don't know. It probably doesn't mean much, but you've always been very dedicated and very kind to me. So thank you very much. And you got hooked. I think I was like fucking around in Metroid Dread or something, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing Metroid Fusion at this time or something, right? Wasn't that what happened? Shit, I don't remember. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just because I'm incompetent in that respect. So you're the whole reason I ever have a teacher. Thank you very much, Juan. Amazon appreciates you probably more than I do, because I like you on a very visceral level, and they like you on a monetary level. But it's neither here nor there. Honey S 2015 does a multicolored Tade heart. Thank you, 20S 2015. Okay, let's finish up here. All right. Lastly, so much love in the chat. That's right. This is a very It's which is it? Matthew 10:34. Let me see. Hold on. I think it's Matthew 10:34. Yes, think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace or love, but a sword. That's HM Rising Streams for you. Anyway, all right, let's finish up here. Last one, we have Stray on the PlayStation 4. I actually think there was a physical release of this, but I actually bought the digital version. I'm hoping maybe they'll release this on the Xbox sometime next year, and I'll replay it then. This was the FOMO game on Twitch in like July or whatever. Again, where you play as a cat, right? Just like another site or Cat Quest, or there was another cat game, a cat lateral damage. This was another narrative walking simulator puzzle type game. That's also by Annapurna Interactive, another big Hollywood studio that's kind of taken like a foot, taking their dip their toes into video games or whatever. Where you play as a cat who goes through a blighted city that's like post-apocalyptic, and you try to figure out what's going on, and you try to escape it and all that sort of thing. And again, another very highly narratively driven. There's really no difficulty behind it. I thought it was fine. It was good. The puzzles, I think some of them were fairly easy. Some of them were kind of obtuse, but it was kind of a fun experience. A lot more cat-related games than I was expecting. Dude, 2022 was like year of the cat. What can I tell? Don't blame me. This is what developers are releasing. They're releasing the games. When there's games when you play as a pup, then I'll also be on that. But like the only pup game that there was Paparazzi. And was that even that this year, or was that like last year? Let me see here. Paparazzi. No, it was this year. It's 2022. Cats are just more cats. People just like to play as cats. I don't know what to tell you. But Stray puts you in the mind of a cat, and you jump around obstacles. You jump from here, from there. You paw things off shelves and stuff like that. But I did enjoy the narrative overall. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't groundbreaking, but it was good. I think I bought it for. Like. Let me check my thing here. I think I might have bought it. I bought it for just about $24. That was probably a little bit more than it was worth. It's probably really only about like a $18, $19, $20 game, to be honest. But it was fine. It was good. You play as a cat. I mean, it's kind of cool. They have a dedicated button, the O button, to meowing, which is pretty cool. The achievements are pretty funny. I have not platinumed this game, but I do plan to platinum this in the next day or two. The only trophy / achievement that I'm missing is the beat the game under 2 hours, which is pretty reasonable. But I mean, it was. I did like it overall. Not amazing, but it was pretty decent. You have like 6 to 8 hours to burn on any given game. You want to play as a cat. I think Stray is fine. To be honest, this is why I'm like the best reviewer that ever existed. If my biases were speaking, I would probably toss this in A tier. But if I'm being really, really honest to like strict video games, I'm gonna put this into B tier. God, I mean, it's like, I'll probably put it right there between Blue Reflection and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, just because the fact that like Blue Reflection was like, even though it was kind of padded in some respects, I feel like there was still a full story, but it had more of a full story than Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and didn't waste my time like Shadow of the Tomb Raider kind of did. So I feel pretty confident where Stray is in that respect. So I mean, solidly B tier. That's where I put it. So that's it. That's all the games I played this year. So I mean, needless to say, there's really only one game of the year for me, and that's Weird West on the Xbox One. I don't know what to say. I loved Weird West. It was not in my top 10 games of all time. It probably was not even in my top 20. Top 30, maybe. I still really, really liked Weird West. I think it was a really good game, all things considered. And using that as a segue, 2022 was an interesting year for video games. I feel like there were a lot, for new releases specifically, I feel like there were a lot of good contenders. Kind of building off of the previous year, 2021, there were a lot of games that had been planned for 2020 or 2021 that had been delayed because of the COVID pandemic that were released or delayed either a year or two. And I think Weird West is actually one of them. I think it was actually planned for 2021, if I remember correctly. But anyway, 2022, I think, was a kind of an average year overall for video games. I don't think in terms of new releases there were particularly anything that was any interesting. Now I know you're a fucking more Call of Duty player, Fortnite, and any of this other garbage bullshit. Dumbass games. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm sure you probably would have loved this year, but like in terms of like new releases, games that actually do something new or interesting. This wasn't really a great year. I think it was actually pretty average, all things considered. Maybe just a slight tick above average, with Weird West, Evil West, and Sonic Frontiers in particular. But like, yeah, that's how it is. Now I know, of course, that I did not play some of some of the fan favorites like Elden Ring. Although I do have a physical copy of that laying around somewhere. To be honest, like I maybe it's just my age showing, but like if you're like a AAA game, like you really gotta convince me to play your game. And Elden Ring, while it sort of seems interesting in some respects, the fact that it's tied to George R.R. Martin or whatever, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. To be honest, I will probably play it someday, whether that's next year or whether that's 2023 or 2024 or whatever. That's fine. But like, I mean, it's not on my priority. It's just another Souls-like game. I really honestly would rather play, a game that has some historical tie-ins, i.e. Steel Rising, which has some tie-ins to the French Revolution, which I thought was really interesting. Robespierre and some of the other folks in them. Like, I'd rather play that crap than some stuff that's based on whatever George R.R. Martin's next payday is. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, 2020, I agree, there weren't a lot of games. Yeah, I mean, 2022, I think was just a victim of the fact that I think 2022 as a game release year was a victim of the fact that because so many games had been delayed by a year or more because of the pandemic, that we're dealing with kind of like the lull in between what would have in a world or universe that didn't have the COVID pandemic, that would have had more releases that would have either been naturally released either last year or even this year. So we're kind of in this weird reality now, but this weird reality where it's like there's kind of some good games and kind of some bad games. But I love the fact that my fucking tier turned out like and I wasn't going for this, but it did turn out like a perfect standard deviation where there were some only one really, really good game, couple bad games, and most of the crap was somewhere in the middle. But hey, that's how it goes. I touched upon it earlier, but I'll kind of wrap it up here. So looking forward here to 2023, I don't know what to say. There's a couple of remakes that sort of interest me. The fact that they're remakes is it makes me a little wary because it's like, where's the innovation? We're just making remaking really, really good games from years ago because we have nothing else to make off of. I'm looking at my list here that I have here. There's going to be an Alan Wake 2, which could be interesting. Atomic Heart in February, which might be good. Well, they're releasing Persona 3 and 4 Those are ports in January, so those don't really count. Stalker 2 is supposedly coming out this year, but one of the main developers got killed in Ukraine, I think. Starfield, that might be interesting. The System Shock remake might be interesting. I don't know. I mean, it's slim pickings. I don't know what to tell you. Sons of the Forest, although that's kind of like an indie mid-tier game. Final Fantasy 16, which I think is funny because it's like, I think I talked about this earlier, but like Sony fanboys are constantly going about the Microsoft Activision merger, yet they won't talk about how Final Fantasy 16 is a Sony exclusive, but whatever. Final Fantasy 16, the Bayonetta Origins Cereza thing that Juan mentioned earlier might be interesting. Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom or whatever. What is it called? Tears of the Kingdom is supposed to be released 2023. Although I thought Breath of the Wild was ridiculously overrated. Blue Protocol. Oh, Greedfall 2 is not until 2024, so who cares? Scars Above doesn't have a release date. Transformers Reactivate. I mean, it's things change, but like it's looking like a pretty sparse year, to be honest. Just like movies. What do you mean by that? Well, if you're talking about like remakes, yeah, because there's always money in fucking making remakes because they know that they'll always get the nostalgia factor. I'll talk about just real quick a couple games that were, I think, released this year that I didn't get around to that I'll probably play next year. The Final Fantasy Origins game. Final Fantasy. I have a physical copy of it. Stranger of Paradise. Yeah, it came out in March. I have a physical copy of it. I just didn't get around to it. That was something that was interesting. I'm hoping to get to this year, sometime 2023 sometime. I'm just looking through my list here. There's a couple of older games, and I will say this much: like this year, particularly in the first half, I actually knocked down a good amount of games in my backlog. And the backlog is ever growing, of course. But like, I cleared out Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I cleared out Mutant Year Zero. I cleared out, what was the other game? There was another big game in backlog I've been trying. Some of the more things like Telling Lies and stuff like that. Like I got some of my backlog cleared out, but like some of the other games that came out this year, I'm just looking through my list. Oh, Lies of P, which is like a Pinocchio Souls-like, is supposed to be coming out in 2023. That might be interesting. I don't know, man. I mean, I will probably play Resident Evil 4 just because of the fact that I played it on the GameCube and I loved it. It's one of the best games on the GameCube, by the way. I mean, that's really about it. Way to the Woods, which is an indie game that's been in development for a couple of years, where you play as a deer, like a spiritual deer or whatever. That might be interesting. I mean, it's, if you're a gamer who actually cares about like really like quality titles and not just the same old tried and true bullshit, it's looking pretty sparse. I'll say that much. So anyway, I know there were a couple things I was supposed to address, but I forgot them. Anyway, Weird West is my game of the year for sure. I love that game. I'm hoping there'll be a Weird West 2. I doubt it, but because anybody who makes anything unique or interesting doesn't get any money because people are too busy working, too busy spending money on cosmetics and Fortnite and all that other dumb shit. But anyway, whatever. Gaming's not for people like me anymore. Sounds like you've done more progress with your backlog than I'm with mine. Yeah, but I mean, I really have. I mean, the like I said, the backlog is ever growing. I mean, it'll never really be truncated, to be honest. But hey, that's how it goes. So, yeah. Anything else I can say? I mean, to be honest, going forward, I mean, streaming is going to be really sparse, if at all. To be honest, there's just not a whole lot of draw to stream. I hate to say it, but it's how it is. I'm sorry. This is how it is. I mean, I like playing my games. I like playing them without doing a commentary and stuff. And, most of the games I play through are narrative-based games, and they're not like the same old bullshit like Modern Warfare, Fortnite, or any of that crap. But hey, whatever. That's why I'm here. So, you know what? Like I said, I punished games that pad stuff, so I'm not gonna pad the stream anymore. I know that I'm a little disappointed because the stream disconnected like 3 or 4 times. I apologize for that. I can't. It's a little bit outside my control, but I really wish the internet had been better. But again, outside of my control. But hey, it is what it is. When's the next stream? I have no idea, to be honest. That's just how it goes. Sorry, but I appreciate all y'all. Juan, DG1, Honeyest 2015, Snazzy8, Million1. Thank you all for showing up tonight. What's the next game I'm going to play? I have no idea. I'm going to probably take a little bit. I really, this last like 2 or 3 weeks, I played a lot of games. I kind of want to curtail a little bit and wait till maybe some of the more major releases or whatever get released. Maybe work on my backlog here and there, but, maybe this is just one of those years where it's kind of a sign that gaming is not really for people like me who actually care about game as an art form, whatever. So we'll go back to playing Fortnite or whatever. So anyway, all right, guys, thank you and gals, thank you so much. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. It was an amazing stream. Well, Juan, thank you so much for joining in. This was very ad hoc, I know. I enjoyed it. I like reviewing the games I played. That's how it goes. Weird West was amazing. But thank you so much for showing up and the others. For the rest of y'all, have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Have a great 2023. I'm not sure when we will see you again, but whenever we will see you again will be a hell of a time. And I would like to, before I close out, I would like to read something. Oh, my chroma key is going to get all messed up. Yep, sorry. I'm just going to have to deal with it. Sorry. Okay. I would like to quote one of the wonderful things in gaming. It's from Kingdom Hearts 2. It's Kairi's letter to Sora. Thinking of you wherever you are. We pray for our sorrows to end and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows? Starting a journey may not be so hard. Or maybe it has already begun. There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. One sky, one destiny. This is HM Rising signing off. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Have a great 2023, and we will see you again. See you next mission. HM Rising out.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
1, 2, don't forget the harmony. 1, 2, 3.
All my life is empty since I went away. Skies don't seem to be so clear. May some angel sentry guard you while I stray, and fate be kind to join us some sweet day. Oh, how I miss you, dear old pal of mine. Each night
your smile and your tender loving way. I just want you only, want you all the while. May God decree I have you back someday. Oh, how I miss you, dear old pal of mine. Each night and day I pray you're always mine. Sweetheart, may God bless you. Angel hands caress you, while sweet dreams rest you, dear old pal of mine. I love you, Nora.
And I love you, Harry.